Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Health Talk. I am your host, Dr. Niru Prasad, with my background in pediatrics, emergency medicine, and urgent care. Joining us today on the Health Talk is a pre-medical student, Kush Nautiyal. Kush Nautiyal, he's a pre-medical student, and currently he is doing the EMT, which is like emergency medicine technician training, which he almost completed. And later on, he will pursue his career as for physician. So, good morning, Kush, and welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Prasad.
And tell us more. How long did it take for you? And you are in Ann Arbor, right?
Correct. Yeah, okay, I go to the University of Michigan, and I wanted some experience pre-medicine just to get in the field. And I saw that EMT is a 3-month program. So one of my summers, I spent 12 hours a week almost for 3 months, gaining that certification.
Okay, so this is a 3-month program.
Correct.
And following this, what is the next step you will be going to?
So actually, I have completed the 3 months program.
Good. Okay.
And there's an ambulance service near Ann Arbor, which services the campus and cities near that. So that's where I'm currently working.
Yeah, and you will learn you will get a lot of experience, just by in the ambulance taking care of the critical patient. That's a very good thing you have your right now. So what initially drew you to the field of pre-med and emergency medicine?
Yeah, so medicine has always been of great interest to me. The human body and how it operates is always very interesting. Emergency medicine particularly, I was drew to like helping people in emergent situations and in situations where they can't handle, but knowing what to do, having a professional by your side seemed very appealing. So that's what drew me to emergency medicine.
Yeah, so that's good. Emergency medicine is very fascinating field, remember?
Yeah.
See, my specialty, pediatrics emergency medicine, and I can tell you, if you're working in emergency medicine, you are all the time, you're under stress, your adrenaline level is very high.
Right.
So have you experiences at EMT? Have your experience influenced your career aspiration in the medical field?
Yeah, definitely. I would say, again, one of my main things that I wanted to pursue was emergency medicine. So I think as an EMT, you're sort of like the first step in this chain cycle. So I have definitely seen like from bottom up how the emergency medical field kind of operates.
Right, yeah. And these experiences will linger with you even when you become a full-fledged emergency medicine physician, because you will remember how to handle a critical patient right in the ambulance. So that's very good. Are there specific areas within which pre-med or you are going to specialize, or do you have any passion?
So I'm currently a third-year college student.
Third year?
Third year. I'm still learning a little bit about what I like. I know I liked emergency medicine, as I mentioned. So there's a lot in the field, and there's a lot that I can look forward to deciding. But I haven't looked yet. I think I'm doing that right now as I'm...
Right, yeah. So what are the primary duties and responsibilities on the job? Can you describe, what are your responsibilities and the role?
So as an EMT,
some of the primary responsibilities.
Right. As an EMT, we are like trained to do basic life support.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that comes with like respiratory care. If there's
cardiac respiratory, ABC, airway breathing and circulation.
Yeah, that's what was hammered into us for 3 months. So we are trained to be as best as we can in ABCs.
Right.
Just keeping critical patients alive to the hospital where they can have more serious interventions.
So basic aim is, to keep the patient alive.
Correct.
There is a basic and there is an advanced life support, as you know. The basic life support, it will just, when you drive that, when you're riding that, this is just to keep it going.
Yeah.
And then later on, the advanced life support comes into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So far, what medical, tell us your experience, Kush. What medical emergency you faced while riding the ambulance?
Yeah, so a lot of what we do is, as BLS, basic life support, we're near like big hospitals like U of M and St. Joe's Trinity. And for that, we make a lot of transports from one hospital to another. Mm-hmm. But a lot of what we do also is the critical care aspect where, there'll be car accidents, and we'll be the first one to respond on scene if there aren't any advanced life support units, and we will have to assess the situation and best we can to get the patient
till they reach the destination.
Exactly.
Isn't there a guideline that you can only drive up to certain miles closest to the hospital?
Yeah, there are many like protocols that dictate what we can do, which makes it a little more complicated to do the care we like, but there are some protocols that are for the safety of the patient, so we can get them into the hospital on time and manner.
So basically, now suppose you are in the middle of the ambulance and then it stops.
Yeah.
Then you can do the CPR. Can you do the CPR and the?
Yeah. So some of the things we look for also is the paperwork of the patient. So if there's like a DNR or something, in which case we couldn't, but. Yes, we have authority to
you
do
have
the
authority to do the CPR, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so that's very good. And you have a telemetry that is connected to the whichever hospital you are going to.
Yeah. Yep, we have radios and open lines and phones.
Radios and the open line, so that decides, right?
And there's a lot of the times there's a chief medical person in the hospital who they can also give over the phone care to
in the emergency room, right?
Right.
Whoever is the chief in that emergency medicine, working with the telemetry, working with the radio. Yeah, you are in constant check with it.
Exactly.
Them, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's very good. Give us some interesting experience you might have.
Recently, actually, I had a patient who was involved in a car accident.
Okay.
And in that case, the patient was sort of older, and that caused some internal bleeding injuries, we believe.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had to, I drove because I had a paramedic partner.
Okay. Usually there are two of you, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So you would have one that's usually driving and one that's operating on the patient at all times. And the paramedic, I think they would get 2 years of education.
Oh, okay.
So it's an associate's degree essentially, and they have much more. They can push more medicines intravenously. They can do more cardiac monitoring and that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I drove lights and sirens to U of M for that, and the paramedic
they took care of
managed
it.
mostly that. Yeah.
And later on, once you go one step further, then you will be the paramedic, right?
Yeah, perhaps if I pursue that.
You have to take a course for that, right? Paramedic.
Yeah.
And that course for paramedic is what, 2 years?
2 years, correct.
Okay. Before you get the license, right? So now let us find out what was your passion in life. What motivated you to this particular line of medicine? Could you describe some of your primary responsibility as an EMT?
Yeah, I think it's really honorable that what EMTs and first responders do, and they're like the first on scene. It's in the name, first responder, and they have to like manage these very stressful situations, and sometimes enter like the patient's home, private areas. But there's people trust in society that these people will do what's best for them.
Right.
So I always saw that as something that I wanted to try.
And very important, to give a moral support
Yeah.
to the victim's family, whoever it is, right? The one guest is allowed, right? One relative is in the ambulance. You can
Definitely.
have one, right?
Exactly, especially for pediatric patients, we encourage that the parents come.
Yeah, motor vehicle accident.
Exactly.
Yeah. So most of the common type of medical emergencies are mostly the motor vehicle accidents.
There's a few of those. I'd say it's mostly respiratory distress and cardiac.
Respiratory distress. That is another one,
Right.
the difficulty in breathing.
Yeah.
You put the oxygen and
Yeah, we have CPAP, we have nasal cannula.
PAP. You can use the
Yep.
PAP, right? Okay.
So,
Yeah. So now tell me, what are your career goals? Which is a long term. You are so young.
Yeah.
Kush, you are so young. Like I said before, I tell my children, first of all, have a passion in your life. Whatever you want to become. Doesn't have to be a doctor. It
Right.
could be engineer, computer science. And then you create a vision, what you're going to follow the vision to your motivation. Because now you're motivated to be an engineer, computer science, or medicine. And then vision will take you to a track, and then you achieve your aims in life.
Yeah.
Stay focused. So you tell me, what are your long-term career goals and how you are going to achieve those?
well,
I'm talking to you like your mother or the grandmother.
a little bit. I have thought a lot about it. I've talked to a lot of my relatives. As for my career goals, I definitely am decided I want to be a physician.
Right.
Now that I'm in my third year, it's coming the time where I'm thinking about applying to medical schools and where I'm going to do. As far as how I'm going to get there, I'm trying to get in-field experience, which is my EMT.
Experiences made a lot of difference. Yeah.
And I'm also actively looking at shadowing physicians to see what they do daily. And I think through that I'll learn exactly what I want to do. But I know I want to be a physician who can help heal people, I think.
Yeah.
So
around the corner, around your pathway, which particular field of medicine would you specialize besides emergency medicine?
Yeah.
People get burnt out with I got burnt out with emergency medicine after working in a busy hospital, Henry Ford, St. Joe, Beaumont. I really got burnt out.
Yeah.
So suppose if you decide you are going to go which is another field would you consider going to?
I've always also appreciated primary care physicians because I think they can offer advice to patients and it makes sort of life changes in
It's
their
a slow
patient.
pace.
Exactly. And
Primary care physician, that is a slow pace. You can be a primary care physician. You will have more time with the patients, their family, and a slow pace.
Yeah, so I think that's a stark contrast with emergency medicine. So that's sort of.
I don't want to discourage you.
Right.
You are so young. You go for the most challenging field.
Yeah, whatever I'm interested in, I think I'll pursue.
Has your EMT experience shaped your understanding of primary patient care?
Primary patient care? I've talked to many patients who. We also, another thing we look at is patients who have psychiatric needs. And so I've talked to many who are not happy with their current state, and I think something that primary care physicians can do is talk to these patients and direct them into a path in medicine which can help them feel better. So I see that even though emergency medicine is so different from primary care, there are always things that primary care physicians can do, I think.
Exactly, that is right. Yeah. So how do you manage your time? That is very important, between your college studies and riding the ambulance. How do you manage it? Kush, it must be very hard for you because they might be calling you any time, right? Now you have full-fledged EMT.
Right. Usually at least we're able to have shifts that we know when they'll be. and especially for a student, that's very important for me.
Okay.
I've been working 12-hour shifts once a week.
How many?
12-hour shift once a week usually.
Okay, so 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
Once a week. Okay, that's not bad though.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
No, because rest of the time you can attend your lectures,
Yeah.
your classes, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, it was definitely hard adjusting in the beginning because I had to wake up. My shift started at 4:45 in the morning.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh my God.
So I'd have to a lot of the times go to bed at like 9 p.m. and my friends were, starting
You have to be there in time. Yeah.
balancing like the academic and social and then work now was.
I know. Can you share any strategies, any tips, what you would like to suggest to your fellow colleagues, your student, maintaining a healthy work school?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing that has helped me in the pre-medical journey is finding people who are in a similar path, because they motivate you, and then they'll share they'll share the same stresses that you have and how they're getting through it.
Right.
I think that's the best thing that's helped.
That is very important in life, for the students. I have written a lot of articles about college, back to college safety, back to school safety, and everything. The most important thing is, you have to get a good circle of friends that you are going to mix with. The reason being, social media, how it can divert your attention to anything,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
You agree with me, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, social media, yeah. What challenges have you encountered when juggling your studies and the EMT responsibility? How did you overcome them?
Yeah, so like 12-hour shift is most of your day, even if I start so early. So I'll miss out. There was a lecture I couldn't attend and I had to watch remotely after. So there's obstacles like that where I just can't follow the regular schedule that most college kids.
That is true.
So,
yeah.
I had to find other ways to make up and.
Yeah. Then the challenges and reward. What are some of the most rewarding aspect? You saved life of a patient, right?
Yeah, saving
that's
a life
a big
is always,
challenge.
Yeah. It's a big thing that's
Right?
rewarding.
You feel good?
Very good, yeah. It's helped me reassure why I want to go into medicine in general, I think.
Right, yeah.
And I think...
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the patient interactions I have are also just really rewarding, even if I'm not directly saving their life. I'm talking to them and I'm gaining some rapport with patients, and I think that's...
So that's very important, Yeah. On the flip side, what are some of the biggest challenge you have faced?
Yeah.
In this role?
There's a lot of in the profession I'm in as an EMT, paramedics that's often their life career, and there's a lot of older that's their whole career, and they see college students doing the similar job as them, and they sometimes get frustrated because we're not putting all of our effort into that, because I'm also a student first.
Sure.
So that's some challenge I've had, balancing and working with some coworkers who are from very different backgrounds as for me.
Okay. So those are the challenges.
I think so.
Yeah, like you said, yeah. How do you handle the emotional toll that comes? When you are in the emergency, you are working with somebody who is, at the end stage. There has to be a lot of emotional trauma. And I remember myself, riding the ambulance with, when I was working in emergency room, I used to be called. Sure. But mostly they were the advanced unit. I don't, because if you go with the advanced unit, they are going to do everything, they will start it.
Right.
So we just overall, still it is a lot of trauma, right? Do you agree with me?
Absolutely. And even if there isn't directly trauma, there's hospice patients, and it's hard to...
Yeah. So now, advice. Give your advice to what would you give to the college students at your level who are considering becoming EMT while...
Yeah. I'm definitely grateful I chose to do something like EMT, because you really don't know what you're going to get into
exactly,
until you try it. So I would say just do it. You know, it's a summer, and if you don't want to do EMT, there's other there's PCTs and ER techs and stuff like that where you can,
Right.
as a college student, you'll be able to do those things and see the chain of command and what you're going to be doing as a physician.
Okay, and then how has pre-med education complemented your work? It must have helped you a lot, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because
Classes
you
like
studied the biology.
yeah, classes like anatomy and physiology.
Anatomy is health, anatomy, physiology, function.
even biochemistry, which many students dread.
Yeah,
has-
biochemistry. You know, those are the pre-med. I used to like those subjects,
Right.
biology, chemistry. I like the only thing I hated physics.
Yeah, that's what I.
And I knew that physics is beyond my brain capacity.
Yeah, it can be for me too.
Yeah. So physics is the one area I hated during my pre-med.
Yeah.
But thank God, you know, once you enter the medical school, then basically you are,
Yeah, you got through it.
you
and-
have something else, you know.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
anatomy, physiology. I loved anatomy.
Yeah.
You know, making diagram, doing the
Yeah.
dissection and all those things. So that was very good. I liked that. Is there anything else you think EMT should know or consider as they embark on this journey?
I think it's not easy because again, balancing is very difficult. You'll see some things that'll take emotional tolls on you, but if you have a good support system and you do want to be a physician, especially in the emergency, if you're thinking emergency,
Yeah.
I think it's something good to try. So,
Yeah, so that's very good. I really appreciate your coming here and
Yeah.
talking about all these issues. So total, which school did you graduate from, Kush?
for what high school did I graduate
Yeah,
from?
high school.
I went to Seahome High School.
Which one?
Seahome.
Oh, Sheham. Oh,
Yeah,
right. Sheham.
yeah.
That's a good high school.
Yeah.
Isn't it? A good exposure.
Yeah.
Birmingham School District, right?
Yep.
But you must have done very well to get to the Michigan.
Oh, I tried. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, going to Michigan is a lot of competition.
Yeah, we meet a lot of different types of people, but very competitive people also.
Very competitive, yeah.
Which pushes you, so I think that's a good thing. I don't-
Yeah. The University of Michigan is one of the top top colleges in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have so much to offer, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. You could do anything if you wanted.
Yeah. So now, when will you start your paramedic course?
So I'm not completely sure if I'm going to do that or when I would start that, but I'm currently working as an EMT and I'm getting good exposure.
Okay, great.
So I'm still between if I want to.
So
do that
you
or
will
not.
keep on, you will keep on pursuing your college educations, pre-med, finish your requirement, and then you will go for paramedics.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking those ACLS and BCLS
Yeah.
course. Oh my God, I remember. We have to take it so many times.
Yeah, no, I trainings and certifications, even for us when we're like this, lowest certification level.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You must have got the BCLS certification,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, right, yeah. And we have still to recertify every 2 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Every 2 years. Before I used to go to all those lectures, courses. But now so many things are online.
Right. Yeah.
So what I do is, I just go online and complete the SCLS and BCLS training. But I tell you, this was very hard, for me because coming from India,
Yeah.
my specialty was their OBGYN,
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then when I came here as an intern here, OBGYN, when I rotated, I found it very hard.
Really?
Because back at home, you're sitting and the those nurses, they do the delivery. Here you have to go for every. So
Yeah.
I switched it to pediatrics, which I found very challenging, interesting, and that's
Yeah.
how I developed my passion to pediatrics. But later on, I switched to emergency medicine because of just like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, save people and all that. Working in the emergency room, you need to be certified for BCLS,
Yeah.
ACLS, and all that.
Yeah.
And Kush, I still remember the first time I went for the ACLS cardiac life support course in a Beaumont hospital. I flunked on the monitor. They were showing me the fib.
Yeah.
I was supposed to shock. I didn't know all those things. But so I flunked.
Sure.
Okay, Dr. Prasad, you flunked. What do I do? I'm not going to quit.
You're right.
So I got some courses, they have basic life support course, ACLS life. So I went through all those courses, just to recognize what rhythm, when to do what.
Yeah.
And then next time, then I made it.
That's good.
Because you have to do that.
Yeah, that's encouraging.
Once you graduate, then board is another thing, emergency medicine board.
Mm-hmm.
I got accepted to take the board because I was boarded in pediatrics.
Right.
Do I know anything about the emergency medicine board? No. The only question I could answer correctly was something in pediatrics. But so written, I flunked. So I said, what am I going to do? I'm not. So then I started taking courses again and again, and fortunately I made to the emergency medicine board.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm telling you, you be persistent.
Yeah, that's motivating.
Okay, you be persistent, stick to your goals in life and achieve them. So give us a last minute advice to our listeners, because our time is, what is the keynote 1 minute advice to our listeners?
I think you said it best, Dr. Prasad. I think being persistent, if you know your goals, then you're going to be persistent as well.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. Know your goal.
Exactly, because then, if you want to really do it, then you're going to find a way to get around all the obstacles that are thrown at you. And wherever you start, I think you can make...
Yeah, keep trying.
You can keep trying.
Keep trying, yeah. So I'd like to thank you, Kush, to coming to my health talk show.
Thank you so much
and
for
the
having
topic was basic life support.
Yep.
And you did a wonderful job. I'd like to thank our viewers for watching the show. I'd like to thank our producer, camera crew. And until I see you all, have a safe and a wonderful fall. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.